Jerry Cavaluzzi with Hayward Pool Products. I'm on the sales end. Terrence Crawford is on the tech service warranty end. We're just going to go through some new products, some programs, make sure you guys are aware of them. We're going to kind of change up how we've been doing it from previous groups because this seems to be where all the attention is, so we're going to start at this end of the table. First product we want to show is our LED lighting. Hayward does make a lineup of low voltage LED lighting. We've done high voltage for years, but over the past several years, we've really gotten into the low voltage 12 volt lights. These lights are all high impact plastic. There's no glass in this light, no metal, exposed metal. So no bonding, no grounding necessary. Their light actually comes with 10 shows, 7 fixed colors. It's about 50% brighter than our own existing high voltage LED light, and it's 100% brighter than a customer's incandescent light that they're used to with the bulb at home. This actual piece here, this light board, this isn't just a demo to show you guys. This is actually a sales tool that we're actually using where you can actually go out to a customer's house with this board. It raises and lowers in terms of the height. You can hang this over the wall, right over somebody's existing pool light. Turn on their pool light, they can see how bright that light is. Turn that off, put this in, turn this on, and this is a home run sales pitch. As soon as the customer sees that LED light in their pool, you can actually show them what the light will do in their pool without having to install the light. Once they see that, I'm yet to meet a homeowner that hasn't said, "Wow, I can't believe the difference," and it has, put forth their effort to buy the light. What am I missing on the light here, Terrence? Nope. We are actually going to probably try to run a sales contest. I need to talk to Waylon about this, so I need to be careful. But we're going to try to run a sales contest with Poolman later on in the year. That's going to be centered around LED lighting. Maybe over the course of a 90-day period, whoever can sell the most lights, we'll do gift cards or something like we do the awards here every year. But just look out for that coming. The next thing I wanted to talk about is automation. This is our entry level. This is our lowest level automation panel. We have 3 different tiers above this, but for the purposes of what we're showing, we just brought the smallest one to show. We're actually going to be doing a mailing in your guys' bill stuffer in the next few months. We're designing one right now with the Poolman logo on it that talks about automation with internet capability. So the ability to work your pool from a cell phone, from a smart tablet device, from a laptop computer. This is the on-command 4 high voltage relay system, runs 3 valve actuators. With the addition of an internet modem and an antenna, customers can control this from their smart device. Above this, there's a e-command system. Above that, ProLogic system. Above that, OmniLogic system. So in the varying levels of automation, there's just more packed with more features and more capabilities. But what we're going to do with that mailer is we're going to start at the entry level to the aftermarket, to the consumer base, and then we can always upsell from there in terms of what their pool actually needs. We don't want to start high and then have to sell down. We'd rather start low and then sell up. So just know that mailer is going to go out in the next couple of months. If people start asking about controlling their pool from their cell phone, you'll probably know why, because we're going to kind of drive that awareness. And then hopefully between now and then, we're going to set up a little bit more of an education piece for you guys to kind of learn a little bit more about the different levels of automation and the capabilities. A couple of things I also wanted to talk about is some programs and some things that we're doing for the service trade to kind of help protect the sales process and to protect you guys, make your sales process a little bit easier. The first thing is the Pro Install warranty. This has been out for several years, though I don't know if we've really talked about it a lot. The way the Pro Install warranty works is if a product is professionally installed, customers get an extended warranty for the professional installation. So look at our filter lineup here, sand, cartridge, DE. A sand filter traditionally gets a 1-year warranty out of the box. If it's professionally installed, if you guys put it in, they actually get 2 years. Same with the other filters. Variable speed pumps, according to the book, 1-year warranty across the board. If it's professionally installed, these get bumped to 3 years parts and labor. Heaters get bumped from 1 year to 2 years. You guys don't really deal with our salt, but salt goes from 1 year to 3 years. Automation panels, 1 year to 3 years. So this is actually a tool you guys can use on that front end sales process. If somebody's telling you, well, I'm just going to install it myself, I can put it in myself. Well, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Customer, if we put it in for you, you get the extra warranty by having it professionally installed. The other thing that we're doing is we're coming up with a line of products that are called Trade Series or Expert Line products. These are products that are isolated from the internet. So only available over-the-counter distribution to you guys or to other service trade professionals, not available online. So for instance, you guys, I'm sure you've heard of EcoStar, and you've heard of the TriStar variable speed pump. Now we have the TriStar VS 900 and also the TriStar VS 950. The 900 is the same thing as the TriStar VS, except it has a Viton shaft seal in it. But that SKU and that name, if you give the customer the SKU or the name, they won't find it online. The 950 is an EcoStar with 2.7 total horsepower pump with, again, a Viton shaft seal. But on that pump, since it's our flagship pump, we're going to put 4 years parts and labor on that pump. But only on that expert line product, not on the traditional EcoStar. So if somebody's going to buy an EcoStar, they're only going to get 1 year if they put it in themselves. They'll get 3 years if it's professionally installed. But they're going to miss out on that 4th year if it's not that TriStar 950, which is only available through the trade. To back up a step, the expert line that we are actually developing, the key features there, we're trying to put a feature separator in every product, a warranty separator, or a rebate separator, or any combination thereof. So in each product that gets added to that category, there's going to be some kind of a story built in, either warranty, rebate, or feature that's going to help you or allow you to separate that from products that are sold online.
Like a $100 rebate for the Aquanaut?
Oh yeah, I mean there's consumer rebates that run all year long. That's, we didn't talk about that's give them another card. That's another one that we didn't talk about at all in the other groups. One of the other things that we've done is we've actually put a minimum purchase price to qualify on a lot of our cleaner products and a lot of our consumer rebates. In fact, it's across the board in all of our consumer rebates. What that does is if somebody's going to buy a cleaner like the Aquanaut, if they don't spend a certain dollar amount, they disqualify themselves from getting the rebate. So if somebody's going online and undercutting the price online, the customer is going to forfeit that rebate by buying it online or buying it, even if they buy it locally underneath that price point, they forfeit the rebate. So it's another thing that we're doing to kind of protect the brick and mortar, protect the trade, so you guys don't get hammered by the internet where somebody's going to try to make no money on the product and sell below that price point. And we're also doing that with variable speed pumps, but we're not doing that on the product itself. Once or twice a year, we actually do installation rebates. So another sales tool. Not only do you have the extended warranty, not only do you have now SKUs that are isolated from the internet, but we're also going to have where if a customer pays for that professional installation, they will get a $100 installation rebate. So again, it's not a rebate on the pump, it's a rebate only on the professional install. So if somebody buys the pump, puts it in themselves, they're not able to produce an invoice that has a line item on it for installation, they cannot actually recoup that $100. So you guys get confronted with, I'll just put that thing in myself, I'll save whatever the installation fee is. Well, we're going to put some money out there that can be captured as to go against that installation process. Did you want to segue into filters? Just go into it? Okay. All right. Filters, I have to apologize. These have been sitting outside for a year. Didn't realize what shape these were in, or we would have sent new filters. But we kind of set them up in order here from a good, better, best in terms of water clarity. Your sand filters, while they're more common in this market, are probably the lowest quality of filtration capability. There's a lot less maintenance to a sand filter, except for the initial setup and when you do a sand change out. From week to week or from month to month, basically you're just backwashing. Your water passes through your sand bed, through your laterals, and cycles back to the pool. That's how it pulls out particulates in the water or dirt and debris. But it only filters down to 20 to 40?
30, yeah.
30 to 40 microns, which is actually visible. So if you ever turn a pool light on at night and you see all that free-floating particles in front of the light, that's visible debris. Sand filter will capture most of that, but there's still cases where it can get through. The next in line in terms of, I'm going to come around the table. The next in line in terms of water clarity and also in maintenance, this is kind of middle tier on maintenance and middle tier on water clarity, is cartridge filter. Now, cartridge filter, these grid elements here are actually what captures your debris. There's no backwashing involved with the cartridge filter. You're literally taking the filter apart, pulling these cartridges out, hosing them top to bottom, shaking out whatever debris, putting your cartridges back in, and that's what's actually going to regenerate the filter. But again, this is your medium tier in terms of clarity, but it's also your medium tier in terms of maintenance. This is actually the fastest growing category that we see out there in most parts of the country. A lot of builders are going this route because there's no valve, so they don't have to plumb in the valve. After, and usually sometimes there's no place to backwash. Also, aftermarket loves it because they can sell cartridge elements every couple years. So there's a lot of reasons why this category is kind of growing the fastest. DE, which is actually, I grew up on DE. Usually, I think Poolman recommends every 6 months, Joey?
6 months to a year.
No.
Cartridges every 6 months.
Every
Something
six-
crazy's happening.
Every 6 months, every 6 months. Now, rule of thumb on any of these filters is you have a starting pressure. So when the filter's first installed and everything's clean and everything is first installed, you have your starting pressure. Once that pressure builds up 5 to 10 pounds on your gauge above your starting pressure, that's really when it's time to consider backwashing. So if that happens in between that 6 month interval, let's say we have a haboob that comes through, major sandstorm, something that comes through, and these grids get packed up, I wouldn't not do it because it hasn't been 6 months. If it's been 3 months and that pressure is built up.
The one thing you have to realize too is, not every builder or customer always chose the right filter for that pool. So the filter could be way undersized. We're not talking the same
That capacity
depth,
is an issue too.
if they got a bullet filter or they put a 200 size filter on a large diving pool, yeah, it will work, but you're gonna have to clean the filter every month or two. That's just the way it is.
They have like a lot of boys.
Yeah, then they're gonna jump it up instead of every 6 months. Maybe they're doing it every 4.
Yards that back up to
Always
a,
tell them 4.
Yeah, every 6 months is really the generic rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Once you got to look at other factors, the landscaping. Are they in the middle of the desert? Is the filter really undersized?
yards that back up to a road.
Yeah.
Is the house on a
Yeah.
on a golf course?
Are they
things
getting
like that.
extreme use or something? That's all. Relatively every 6 months is just the same.
DE filter. I grew up on DE filter. This is your finest water clarity. You have high impact grids. Now these have kind of all worn away over the years. High impact plastic grids covered with the mesh material. DE is a crushed sea coral. Crushed sea coral. It's a very fine powder. That actually coats these plates, and as water passes through that powder, it pulls out the finest micron. So even things that are invisible to the naked eye, it'll actually pull out of the water. But now, for a lot of reasons, DE is probably the fastest shrinking category for a number of reasons. One, a lot of municipalities are outlawing it just because it's not biodegradable. There is a when you backwash, you do get that byproduct, that DE powder. A lot of builders are going away from it. Say municipalities. Some municipalities are requiring a separation tank, an extra tank for when you backwash to catch all that debris. So it's become a little bit more cumbersome in terms of maintaining these. So a lot of builders are going away from it, and then it just actually is kind of phasing out. But again, finest water clarity, but the most maintenance. So this requires backwashing. This requires the filter to also occasionally be broken down. You have to hose those grids out, and then when you're done, you have to recharge it with that diatomaceous powder. Yes, sir.
How often would you recommend like a tear down for a grid?
6 months.
Yeah, I mean, a DE teardown we're doing them once a year.
Once a year.
Yeah. Like again, unless something, crazy. If they got a 36 DE filter and they got a diving pool, then maybe we need to step it up. But if everything's right, then once a year is usually fine, as long as it's getting backwashed.
On each of these filters, we do have a pressure gauge, internal tank pressure gauge. There's actually a little green and a little red arrow on the gauge. So what we usually recommend to do is when you start the filter up, if it's clean and it's backwashed or when it's first installed, put the green arrow on your starting pressure. If it starts to jump 5 to 10 pounds over your starting pressure, that's usually another indicator when it's time to clean it out. But I also won't forget to mention this earlier, always check that gauge even when you turn your system off, because they're not the most.
Sure it's not stuck on 5
Yeah, because it could be stuck at 12 pounds, and you turn it on and off, and it's always 12 pounds, and you think that everything is great, and meanwhile inside it's really 25, 30 pounds. I always, common sense factor, if you put your hand in front of the returns back to the pool, and the last time you were there, they were nice and strong, and now they're just kind of trickling out, and nothing else has changed. Chances are the filter's plugged. If there's an automatic cleaner in the pool, and the cleaner's barely moving, that's also maybe an indicator that something else has changed. So just a little.
Cleaner the pool's now like dirtier than it was.
Yeah, you'll see factors that are usually it's pretty visible. Another change that we've made over the past couple of years, and I think we have the different styles here. New band clamp, which came out in like the past 5 years or so. So it's cast aluminum, acid etched, so it actually shouldn't wear down. Much easier to take apart. The old band clamp, you can, with a crescent wrench, you know, for a half hour to get that bolt off, and then it would spring load in five different directions. This actually, as soon as you crack the seal on this, you can take this off with your fingers, and even with two sides off, it'll still hold the tanks on the third side. It's hinged. So, like mallet, tap all the way around and get this back together. But you do need 150 inch-pounds of torque to close this thing. If you don't have a torque wrench, now, I mean, it's got the one that was over, but if you don't have a torque wrench, usually what we say is about 3 to 4 threads exposed on the opposite side of the bolt is where you want to be. You don't ever want to start this thing like this. Any question on filtration in general? Anybody? How many volts is that light? 12? I'm in a car. How many speed change? Well, I don't know if I mentioned this, but how many timers are built on the difference between pump? I didn't mention it. There's 8 timers. Which filter is the easiest maintenance? You already get a card? You already get a card. Sorry. I figure you're already a card. Are they almost done? They're done? Alright, last question. Who's the best manufacturer of swimming pool equipment in New York?
Hayward.
Hayward. Give her a